Pied Piper, a Black Hole CA. Read by Mika. Chapter 23. UI Scooty.
Are you Pied Piper?
Midoriya's brain shuts down. What? Next to him, Inko's delicate brows furrow inward. Who? Detective, what's the meaning of your visit?
There's been a young vigilante running around Matsudafu recently, Nomasa says solemnly, eyes flickering towards the boy's mother. We have a list of suspects, Midoriya-san. We're simply covering all of our bases. Midoriya-kun and my nephew are good friends, so please believe me when I say that I think he's a good kid. I don't want to suspect him, but as it stands, he has enough similarities to land him on our suspects list.
You think Izuku's a vigilante? She asks, confusion and fear mingling in her voice. I'm not a vigilante, Midoriya mutters. It's a quiet and half-hearted statement. It's also a lie. Namasa's brain stalls, eyes widening in surprise. Midoriya can tell the moment the words come out of his mouth that the other knows now. Can tell that the man has called his bluff, that his elaborate facade has crumbled beneath the weight of the most straightforward question the detective could have thought to ask.
Are you Pied Piper?
Midoriya-kun, Nomasa breathes. And Izuku can see all the connections being made in the man's head. Can see all the puzzle pieces the detective is watching fall into place, and they all fit so perfectly. It's no longer a question of do they fit, but how.
Fix it!
The vigilante's mind roars. I don't know how. But he does. He does know how, because in the eyes of the law, Midoriya Izuku is already registered as a vigilante. Piper looks towards his lab, his shamrock curls hiding his widening eyes. He fiddles with his fingers silently for a moment. I mean, the boy murmurs quietly, thinking as he speaks. There was that one convenience store thing with Emi. Emi. The first person he's ever rescued, and the only lawfully documented case of Midoriya Izuku committing vigilantism. Tsukachi's hand still above the metaphorical puzzle laid out before him.
Hoga Emi. Of course, I remember that. Officer Fujimori told me all about that after you got to the station. I don't guess you've saved any more little girls since then, have you? Nomasa laughs, the slope of his shoulders relaxing.
Ruby-red eyes glint from the shadows of Midoriya's mindscape. This is something he doesn't have to lie about. No. It's a sore point. Even a week of trying to take Leo's advice hadn't been enough to soothe the ache in his chest when Eddie came to mind. Just want to see us safe.
You won't be able to see us safe if you're dead, Nail's voice reminds him internally.
Across from him, Namasa offers him a nod, sobering the mood.
All right. There's just one last thing I need to confirm, and then I'll get out of your hair.
Midoriya-kun, could you tell me what you were doing last Saturday night? Inko fidgets beside the boy. Detective, why are you asking about that? Did something happen on Saturday? Takachi soothes her with a smile.
I promise it's just a standard question.
He looks back towards Izuku, silently encouraging him to answer. Last Saturday, Izuku asks, in order to get himself some more time. That was the night of the raid. Nomasa nods. He just needs something that can get past his quirk. I'd say I was sleeping, Midoriya starts, but I wasn't able to sleep much that night. Truth.
Any particular reason why?
I've been pretty stressed out recently. I've had a lot of things going on. Midoriya looks off to the side, genuinely embarrassed. I talked to Deodo the other day, and he helped me work through some of it, so I've been better. Truth. Nomasa feels a small rush of relief. He doesn't want to suspect the only friend he's seen his nephew bring home of something as serious as vigilantism.
I'm glad to hear that. I'm sure you've had your hands full applying to hero schools, right?
I've actually only applied to UA, Izuku says sheepishly, scratching at the back of his head. I should probably apply to more, but UA has been my dream school since I was a kid, so... The man nods along with the 15-year-old's words.
UA's a good school,
he says, as he pushes himself up.
I apologize for taking up your time. That's all the questions I needed to ask.
He bows at the both of them, the two rising from their own spots and returning it in kind. Did I do it? Midoriya asks himself. Am I in the clear? The vigilante shows the man out, walking him to the door. Nail's words come back to him as he watches the detective slip his shoes back on.
You think my uncle doesn't drive himself mad trying to get you off the streets?
Guilt takes the place of the vigilante's fear. You should sleep more, Sakauchi-san, Izuku says. You'll burn yourself out if you're not careful. Nomasa blinks at him, surprised to see the genuine worry swelling like an ocean wave in his eyes.
It comes with the job, I'm afraid,
he replies softly, a half laugh escaping him as a small smile graces his lips. Even so, taking care of yourself is important. You have to live within your means, or your limits, he murmurs, repeating Leo's own words to him. You have the ability to save a lot of people, Sakauchi-san. It makes him feel like a hypocrite. So, if something happens to you because you overworked yourself, then all that potential could be gone just like that when you need it most. I want to make people's lives easier, but, he thinks, I don't want to do it at the cost of your suffering. Nao's worried about you, you know. Misaki-san, too. Midoriya flushes, looking away. Sorry if it was too forward. It's just that Nao and I are good friends, and he can tell you've been pretty stressed recently. He talks about you sometimes, and I can tell that he's worried. Nomasa dissolves into a kind, yet weary smile.
It's a bit forward, but it's something I think I needed to hear. I'm glad Leo has a friend like you, Midoriya. You're a good kid.
I'm really not. I worry him just as much.
Your existence is a close one. You only serve to hurt those closest to you.
Midoriya's fingers twitch uncomfortably. Izuku's smile wobbles at the edges. I don't know what I'd do without him. Truth. And he really doesn't. Midoriya knows he'd be dead or captured several times over now, without the younger Sakachi's help. Knows he'd be lost in a void of hate and self-loathing without him. The detective stands, slipping his hat back on. I'll be off then. Please enjoy the rest of your night. You too, the boy murmurs, shutting the door behind him. Izuku deflates against the door already, in borderline tears from relief. Did the detective leave? Inko calls from the living room. Yeah. The 15-year-old croaks back. He makes his way back down the hall to find the woman staring out the balcony's door. I just don't understand why he would suspect you of all people, Inko murmurs, biting at her thumbnail. They came to talk to all the dojos in the area a few months back, Izuku informs her. I hear the vigilante they're looking for uses Muay Thai to fight, so it's not that much of a stretch. The boy smiles sheepishly at his mother. I'm pretty good at it, you know? Inko huffs a laugh, turning to her son and enveloping him in a hug. My Zuko, she mutters, swaying back and forth. So strong and brave. Things don't quite go back to normal, but neither him nor Leo expected them to. He's haunted by new nightmares, held down by new demons, suffocated beneath new waves of anger. Anger at those villains, anger at himself. Death and failure leave scars of their own kind, ones that aren't visible to your average person. For those closest to him, there's only the feeling of something being wrong, and the wrongness itself is something that's hard to pinpoint. For Hirano, it's merely a difference in his stride. For Jiwoo, it's his heightened determination. His mother's eyes catch on the slight downtick of his usual smile, and Neo takes notice of the rising of cold fire blazing in the vigilante's eyes. But for Giran, it's the increase of late-night phone calls and meetings over the next month with the infamous vigilante Pied Piper. Giran is an information broker. He makes a living on the buying and selling of secrets. It's his job to know. Because of this, it didn't take long for the man to hear about what happened the night of December the 11th. People like to talk when money's involved. So, like Reo, Giran knows the reasoning behind the vigilante's change. I need a lead, Giran. It's been a month already. I know you have info. The only question is, how much is it going to cost? The broker huffs a laugh. Pulling out all the stops now, are we? I can't afford to stop anymore. Midoriya crouches on the top of one of the buildings, lining the edges of the red light district. The clear, crystalline night feels almost foreign. The constellations have shifted since summer. The ones he's used to seeing so clearly seem to have disappeared overnight. Time has passed so quickly. Too quickly. There's not enough time to save everyone. The sky is crisscrossed with aeroplane trails and dotted with stars. The air is crisp, cold, biting. Last week you told me you didn't have any new info, but we both know that was a lie. I let it slide because I thought maybe you were still looking into it, but I feel like that's not the case anymore. Giran leans against the balcony's railing, staring out across the warehouse and watching as a few people mill about below. A woman with strength enhancement carries a box twice her side towards the far end of the room, setting it down carefully on the floor. The man sighs. You got me there. It'll cost more than usual, though. I figured. Giran rubs at his brow, slipping back into his office to take another drag of another cigarette. There's a man. Used to be ex-Yakuza, part of Overhaul's group before it became Overhaul's. He turned to petty theft after leaving them. He might have some info you're looking for. Midoriya sighs on the other end of the phone. Smoke, exhaling slowly. Just tell me how much, and I'll bring it as soon as I can. The broker hums a soft tune, calculating prices. How about this? It'll cost you a favor. You haven't even cashed in the first one. I know. On the other end of the phone, the vigilante shakes his head, breath fogging in the air. I don't deal in favors, Giran. That was a one-time thing. An accident. The man takes another long drag of his cigarette, exhaling smoke with his next words. Fine. It'll be the usual, plus an extra 200,000. That much? A cat-like grin slips onto Giran's lips. There's always that favor. You'll get your money. Always a pleasure doing business with you, Piper. Giran's response is greeted with a dial tone. Shoda Yuto, age 31, height 5'11", strength enhancement quirk. Midoriya glances down at the slightly blurred photo Giran had given him yesterday. It had taken the boy a while to track him down. The vigilante ended up having to play a waiting game, sitting around and waiting for the guy to turn up in the area Giran had told him he frequented. His quirk might be tough to deal with, the vigilante murmurs. Midoriya peeks around the corner, watching as the orange-haired man from the photo peers into a few of the cars scattered in the parking garage they're in. I'll need to take him by surprise. Midoriya fails to take him by surprise. Piper's reflection in the car window gives him away, and the criminal whips around and throws a punch at him immediately, not waiting for any kind of identification before the brawl begins. The 15-year-old dodges the punch, fist whizzing by his ear with a quiet whistle that signals that his quirk is already in use. It does more than make him stronger. The punch slams into the frame of the car behind him, the man hissing at impact. Midoriya looks to check and see if the car is dented or not, and his efforts earn the vigilante a knee to the gut. His Kevlar vest takes the brunt of the blow, but with the man's quirk, he's sure it will do more than leave him breathless. An elbow rams into his back in his hunched-over position, threatening to send him into the ground. The vigilante slips away through the adrenaline and stumbles back, getting out from between the cars and squeezing a curse. I want to know about the precepts, he hisses. And I don't want anything to do with them, the other fires back. Midoriya slowly rights himself, and slips past another blow aimed towards him, deflecting it with his staff.
All I need is a base location. Give them more of a reason to hunt me down.
The man laughs breathily.
Fat chance.
The vigilante curses under his breath.
Need this info.
A well-timed kick slips past the 15-year-old's defense, slamming into his side with all the force the man's quirk can offer. The kick throws him to the ground, sending him tumbling across the concrete in a tangle of limbs. He feels dazed, trying to stand back up. Possible concussion. Blood trickles around the back of his ear, slipping down the side of his neck. Midoriya stumbles into a crouch, unable to stand just yet. The villain approaches him casually, staring down at the boy.
You underestimate their new leader, kid.
Midoriya swipes at the blood on his neck.
I'm the last person who'd underestimate that man,
the vigilante tells him quietly. He looks up at the villain with slightly unfocused eyes. But they're eyes that have known death. Eyes that have seen the other side. They catch the man off guard.
You... Now that's not any way to treat your fellow man!
The booming voice echoes through the parking garage, startling the two of them. The voice hurts his head. The villain pauses, head turning to find the source of the noise. Above the vigilante, the man tenses, freezing in place upon seeing whoever it is. The vigilante uses it to his advantage. He fumbles for his belt, scrambling to find his balance as he digs an electrified eskrima stick into the man's ribs. Izuku releases a relieved breath as the criminal goes down, unconscious for a moment.
My apologies, the voice echoes again, coming closer. It seems you had the situation handled.
Midoriya's head whips up, immediately straightening. Who is... The vigilante's heart stops. Midoriya's eyes widen significantly, fearfully but full of awe. A strangled noise escapes his throat, one that he has no control over. All my... The hero's smile is blinding, and the vigilante feels more than just a little dazed looking at him. That might just be the concussion.
I'm glad you're okay, young man. You seem to be struggling a bit there, so I was worried. But it seems I need not have been.
Hi! The vigilante squeaks out, stumbling into a standing position past the pain in his head.
Are you okay, young man?
The hero's smile doesn't waver, but his blunt brows furrow inward with concern.
You took quite the hit there.
Izuku's voice cracks. I'm fine, he manages.
If you're certain.
Midoriya stares on, pied eyes full of total awe. The hero's mouth parts to speak more, and the boy hangs on to the aching boom of every syllable. He sways on his feet for a moment, dazed again, and losing track of what the man is saying. He snaps back into the present.
Leave the rest to you.
The hero looks towards the entrance of the parking garage.
I assume you've already contacted the police, so I should leave before they arrive.
He grins at the boy.
I'll only be in the way. Hi. The vigilante agrees immediately. The hero's words and their meaning taking longer than usual to process as All Might makes to leave. Wait! The boy stutters, fumbling for his pockets. But before you go, can I have your autograph? The boy finds a pen but no paper. He tries to come up with a good solution as quickly as he can. Something permanent. Something I won't have to worry about getting damaged. The solution he comes to isn't a good one. It's not the smartest idea. In all honesty, it's probably one of his stupidest. Stupider than being best friends with the nephew of the man hunting him down. Stupider than turning up outside of UA with Snipe's gun in a plastic bag. Stupider than a quirkless nobody like Midoriya Izuku being a vigilante. It could be over here. Identity exposed, life ruined. His hopes of ever saving anyone else could be completely erased in the next few moments. Midoriya quickly drops into a near 90-degree bow, hiding his face as he slips his mask off and offers it from that same angle for the hero to sign. Please sign this! Ah, of course! But all Midoriya can see, past the throbbing headaches and the booming voice and the blinding smile, is the hero he's looked up to for so long. His inspiration for becoming a vigilante, his need to save people. The roots of all his hopes and dreams as a child are standing before him. I have great respect for underground heroes like yourself, you know. It takes a lot to live in the spotlight, but even more so to purposefully live outside it. The vigilante straightens immediately, keeping both of his gloved hands excitedly cupped around the bottom half of his face, as All Might takes the mask, quickly signing it with a smile. Tears burn at the corners of Midoriya's eyes. He thinks I'm a hero. He thinks I'm a hero. He thinks I'm a hero. Midoriya drops into a deep bow as he takes the mask from the man's hand, quickly slipping it back on. He thinks I'm a hero. He thinks I'm a hero. He thinks I'm a hero. The mask reeks of Sharpie fumes that serve only to make his headache worse, but his smile resumes to dim. I'm afraid I'm a bit short on time right now, so I'll be off. Midoriya chokes out a noise, caught off guard. Of course, I can handle everything from here. Thank you for helping. It was great to be able to meet you. This will definitely be a family heirloom. The hero pats him on the back in a way that has the 15-year-old stumbling forward a bit, too starstruck to be fazed by it before All Might steps out from under the parking garage's roof, crouches, and takes off into the sky. It takes a few moments for Midoriya to register everything, only able to stare at the hero's after image. Eventually, he stumbles his way back towards the villain, collapsing next to him. Holy shit, he whispers. Beside him, the man only groans. Vigilante Pied Piper meets All Might! Gets autograph! 3,341,758 views. 5,101 comments. The bone ferried. 7 hours ago. Holy shit! Where is this CCTV footage from? How did you get footage of Piper so fast? The timestamp is literally from an hour ago! The database says you're stupid. 8 hours ago. Eat, sleep, coffee, repeat. 5 hours ago. My brain can't even process the possible repercussions that could come from this video. MD Central 9. 5 hours ago. Bro, for real, I thought All Might was gonna put the smackdown on him, even with the title being what it is. My World Z. 4 hours ago. I don't know how this dude is still alive, to be honest. Sorry I took so long. 6 hours ago. I'm glad All Might showed up when he did. That fight wasn't looking too good for Piper. XX All Might 34XX. 2 hours ago. He got to meet All Might, that's amazing! Sorry, I just had to get that out. So, I still didn't see Piper using any quirk. I've been thinking about it since I first saw that video of him with Death Arms, but now I'm really curious as to what it could be. Piper Stan, 1 hour ago. I wish CCTV videos had audio. TD. You're literally insane, Midoriya Izuku. Neo shakes his head as the boy crawls through the window sometime after 4. The sun just beginning to set on the horizon. The Vigilante beams at him, All Might's signature shifting with the movement of his lips. How did you even find out already? I spend my free time browsing the internet for news on Piper. Midoriya looks up, surprised. Really? Dale laughs. No, I have some post notifications on for the channel that uploads videos of some of your fights. There are channels like that? Midoriya asks, a little awestruck. Dude, Neo deadpans. You literally have a whole subreddit dedicated to you. What do you mean there are channels like that? Izuku flushes. It's the same channel that posted that video of you in Death Arms, by the way. I don't know how they get all the footage that they do, but it's good stuff. You know that clip of you getting punched by that duplication villain who said, "Fuck you, I'm sorry," before dipping? Midoriya sighs as he pulls the hood down, but his smile doesn't fall. Unfortunately. That's on there too. Tsukachi grins. Alright, sit down now. Kick up your feet, take off your mask, and tell me all about your fanboy meet and greet. Tsukachi slides around the room in his chair, picking up this and that as his friend takes a seat. Also, let me see your head. It looks like you hit it in the video. The younger boy laughs slightly. You'd be right. Please take care of me, Dr. Tsukachi. Wouldn't need a doctor if you stopped getting hurt, Neo mutters. Midoriya only laughs. r/Pied Piper. Posted by u/Hugs4Days 2 days ago. The absolute mad lad. 287 upvotes. Can we talk about how Piper has met both Endeavor and All Might and lived to tell the tale? Like, he literally blew a kiss at Endeavor's son, and then today we get security camera footage of him getting an autograph from the All Might? Insert username here. 489 points. 1 day ago. How has he still not been caught yet? I am Rake. 38. 3k points. 1 day ago. He literally took off his face mask in front of All Might, potentially exposing his identity to the #1 hero. If that's not the definition of a dedicated fanboy, then I don't know what is. Disappointing. 1k points. 23 hours ago. Okay, hear me out, but what if Piper is actually a ghost? The story goes that he was a kid that was training to be a hero but died before he could save anyone, so now he drifts through Mudstuffoo saving everyone he can. Mr. Electrode. 28 points. 16 hours ago. Bro, I literally saw a video of him getting decked by a villain the other day. Disappointing. 1k points. 5 hours ago. Tangible Ghost. Mr. Electrode. 28 points. 4 hours ago. ... Disappointing. 1k points. 28 minutes ago. Tangible Ghost Vigilante. Turnpike Pair. 672 points. 7 hours ago. Pied Piper is an All Might Stan. Confirmed.